In this video, we're going to look at a cost function, and we're going to look at two things that you can do with a cost function, which are marginal cost and average cost. Okay, marginal cost ends up just being the derivative. So this is taking your cost function, finding the derivative, and evaluating it. Average cost is taking your total cost, which is our cost function, and spreading it out over the number of items you made. Okay, so again, marginal cost involves a derivative, average cost does not. Okay, so how this works is that you have to be given a cost function. So I'm just going to make one up, and when I make one up on the fly, our answers could get really wacky, but we're just going to wing it and see how it goes. You can see I'm a little bit nervous about what to write down. Sure. Ta-da! So this is our cost function, and we're making, I don't care, widgets. Okay, pick whatever you want that we're making. Okay, so the idea here is that if you wanted to find the average cost, the average cost is you just take this cost function and divide it by x. So I would take this function and divide it by x. Now you can clean it up and actually divide each piece by x, so you could just leave it like that. And then if you wanted to know what was the average cost when you made 200 items. So let's say that I made 200 items and I want to know what's my average cost. Okay, well, to do that, all you would do is you would just plug in 200. You'll notice I have not taken a derivative. It's just number crunching. All right, so I'm going to pause for just a minute while I make that calculation. As you can see with the miracle of television, I'm kidding, of course, what we end up getting is 94. Now what we're saying is that when I make 200 items, this cost gets spread out so that it's basically costing $94 per item. Okay, so think about like your startup costs, how much you're using, what it's costing for the product. So you might have just, like that first item you're making could be really expensive because you had to set up shop, pay for suppliers and all that kind of stuff. But as you are making more things, hopefully it's going to get cheaper over time, so it's going to be spread out. So this is $94 per item. However, we can also look at marginal cost, which is how is the cost changing? How is the cost changing at any specific item I made? Okay, so if I were to freeze time at the 200th item, how much is it actually costing at that moment to make one more item? Okay, well, I'm going to find the derivative of the original function. So let's go back up to the original. So I'm going to bring down the 2. I'm going to get 0.12x plus 80. Okay, so this is my marginal cost function. Okay, now if I want to know what's the marginal cost at 200, I would plug in 200. Okay, and I believe I'm going to get, so let's see, 0.12 times 200. Good. So this is going to end up being 104. Okay, so here 0.12 times 200 is 24, add 80, it's 104. So here at the 200th item, it's actually costing $104 to make the next item. So what's happening here? Sometimes this number will be bigger, sometimes this number will be larger. It just depends on where we're at in our production scheme. Okay, so what's happening is that when I spread the cost over all 200 items, it's only $94 per item. But when I look at when I'm making the 200th item, how that next item's cost is changing. It's costing $104. Now I wrote next item, so it could be $104 to make the 201st item or $104 to make the 200th item. I mean, we're right in the vicinity. Okay, so what I would say is, for the most part, you expect this number and this number to not be the same. Because again, this is spread out over all the items made, and this is looking at the change at a specific moment in your production cycle. All right, I hope that is helping you. There are some cost function problems in your homework, so make sure you're referencing this to do those.